Hello everyone and welcome to the Wondershare Filmora video editing tutorial. Uh, I'm gonna put a link here for the download if you want to buy it. There is a free trial version for this, but it will leave a watermark copy on whatever you make. But to start off, once you download it, this is what the icon will look like on the desktop, and when you open it, this is what the menu will look like. Since it's, as you can see, I've already created a few projects, but we are going to ignore this for now, because since this will be your first project, we're just going to click on New Project right there. And this is what will pop up. This is just the, once all these things go away, this is just the main menu. This is the layout for everything. I'm going to briefly explain what every section does. Up here, this is where we are going, all of our media files will be stored. So whenever we import a video or a picture or any type of audio, this section right here is where we will find them. Down here is where all the editing will be done. The audio bars and visual bars are here respectively. The visual bars are represented with an eye, and the audio bars are represented with the speaker symbol. More of this will be described later. And over here is where we will actually see our editing be done. It'll give us a preview of everything that we do. But to start off, we need media inside of the we need to import our files. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to File, Import Media, then Import Media Files, and then just navigate to wherever you have them stored. I have mine stored right here, and I already have a video pre-downloaded. You can download, for this you can use any video you want. I've just decided Rickroll is decent enough, and we're just going to let that import really fast. And then as we see up here, it stores right here. It'll be stored under my project, under my album is what it defaults to. And this is just where it goes. And what we're going to do is you're going to click and drag on your video and bring it down to the visual bar with the eye patch. Now what will happen is this will pop up. All it's saying is match to media, which is saying our current project settings do not match the media that we are using. We're just going to choose match to media to make everything simplified. And as you can see, the video is put into the visual bar. And then down here, what this blue stuff is, that's the audio for the file. I'm going to describe that briefly in a bit. But as you can see, if we go over here, just click play and it'll start playing, and then it'll just play all the way through. Now this red line right here, this is known as the marker. You can click and drag it and go to any part of the video that you want. And as you can see, you can side scroll the video using the sidebar right here. Or if you want to do, you can drag up here to the left to kind of, I want to say, it's not compressing the video, it's just making everything more compact. It doesn't have any change on the output, it's just how you view the bars down here. It lets you become more precise. So if I just keep clicking and dragging to the right, you can see the seconds getting smaller and smaller down to increments of 5. So this is in 5-second increments now, so each little bar right here is 1 second. Whereas if I keep dragging to the left, you can see that now each bar is up to 30 seconds pretty much. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you guys how to cut parts of the video apart so you can separate the video. And where you want to do that is you want to go to Tools, and then you want to click on Split. Now, before you do that, make sure you have the red bar wherever you actually want the video to be split, if you want the video split at all. So I'm going to go ahead and split it at the, we'll say the 10-second mark. Then we're going to go up to Tools, Split, and as you can see, beforehand, it didn't have the little Rickrolled thing over there, and if we move the red bar, the red marker, you can see that it's two separate things now. And if you accidentally split a part where you didn't want it to be split, you can always just hit Control-Z, and that'll undo any changes that you made. But we're going to go back, and we're going to split. And now what we can do with this is we can create gaps in the video. So if I go over here, shorten this a little bit, go to near the end of the video and click play, it'll cut off, and then it'll start back up again. And what you can do with this is you can put other videos in between, you can put pictures in between. Let me go and I'm gonna import import, we'll use this. And what you can do is put a picture or video in between them. So if I do this, it'll cut off to that, and then once it's done there, it'll resume the video. Now, the reason it created a new audio bar, I'm going to Control-Z a few times. There we go. Is because I just dragged it up to the bar above. What you can do is you can go over to the left. You can add a new video track, which does the same thing. That's all up to personal preference. And then the same thing can go for audio bars. Now, audio bars are used for editing the audio. As you can see, the video I have downloaded automatically comes with audio, and any video you download will automatically have its audio attached. What we're going to do is we're going to detach the audio from the video. And to do that, you're just going to click on the section of it that you want. You're going to go up to Tools. You're going to go to Detach Audio. And as you can see, it came off of the video, and now it's in its own bar. And what this allows you to do, it allows you to edit the audio however you want. So what we're going to do is, you're going to click on your audio down here. We're going to right-click, and we're going to go Adjust Audio. And what that does, it just brings up in the top left corner, the audio editing thing. So you can choose, and if you pay attention to the green bar at the bottom when you select, I'm just going to show you what each one does. It has fade in, which it starts off quieter and gets louder as the audio progresses. There's fade out, where it starts tuning down. There's the pitch that you can adjust as well, so it's I'll turn it up for you guys, and that's a little snippet of that. And then if we just set it back to 0, I don't know if you guys could hear the audio difference, but it's there. And the equalizer, what that does, it lets you choose different song styles to edit the audio to. So right now it's just set to default of whatever the original media had it set to. So say we want to have a low bass sounding style. We select low bass, and then we hit play. And compared to the original, what it sounded like, the low bass gave it a lower bass sound. And then you can select from any of these, or what you can do is you can go to customize, and it has its own little settings that you can choose to set it to. I'm going to click cancel on that, and I'm just going to go back and set it to default. What denoise does, it lets you just get rid of any extra background noise that's not necessary. So if I click that and set it to weak, That's what it'll sound like if I set it to medium. And then if I set it to strong. Now obviously, since this is a music video that I'm using to show you guys, they already have the audio set as they want, so removing any background noise would be unnecessary. But if you do like a camera recording, that's where this would come in really handy. So next up, we'll go down the line. We did audio. I'll show you guys titles. What these do, it's just like adding a picture. It, as you can see, Filmora comes with many presets that you guys can choose from. Like in audio, it has all these songs and things you can choose. You can also go down to their download page and download more if you have bought the software, which I have done. Otherwise, the free trial version, I believe, does not have this. But titles, you can use them for credits, you can use them for opening scenes, you can just use them to type text into the middle of your video. So what I'm going to show you guys is, I'm just going to go down to titles. Titles allow it to, so that, I'll show you, I'll click and drag, bring down below. It'll allow it so that it plays so that the video is viewable. So what we're going to do for the titles is we're going to, as you can see, there's all of them that we can have selected. There's custom ones that you can create. I'm not going to show you guys that in this video, but there are preset openers, titles. There's like the lower third of the screen that it'll show up in. There's subtitles, there's end credits, and then you can also store your favorites. But what I'm going to show you guys is how to create a title. As you can see, there's some good presets already. We're just going to take the first one, click on it, and then click and drag down, and then it'll put it down here. Now what we can do is we can double click on it, and then what I want you guys to do is go to advanced, and this will let you get into more detail with your title editing. But all we're really going to do is we're going to double click on the default text up here, and then you can just rename this to whatever you want. So nope, that's too long, so we're just going to call it Rickrolled. And then you can move it wherever you want as well. Let's just click and drag to the left and line that up with that. And then down here you can do the same thing. There's also the input text box, which is easier to use. So, and then you can choose what alignment on the screen you want it as, if you want to do that. Otherwise, you can just click and drag the box and align it however you want. There's also the text editing. I just clicked Control A for that. Right here, so like text fill, you want that on obviously if you want your text to be seen. There's gradient fill. You don't want that. That just creates a color rainbow pretty much. And then image fill, that's if you want to input an image into the text box. But you can change the color of whatever your text looks like. So if you want it to be green, you can make it green. If you wanted to make it any color really, you can click on more and it gives you more options to choose from. I'm just going to leave it white for now. And then you can also give it an effect. You can mess around with those however you want. I'm just going to leave it on the first one, which is the default option. You can also change the opacity. You can also change the blur of it. A lot of these are, you can play around with these, set them however you want. You can also have a text border. Turn that on, and you can change, like, as you can see, it highlights around it. You can also change the opacity of the border, the blur of the border as well. Just kind of mess around with that, and the size of the border. So if you want to make it really big or really non-existent, I'm going to select it off for now. And you can also add the text shadow, just kind of play around with that. But since it's on a background, if you make it red though, or a lighter color, you should be able to see it. Yeah. As you can see, it's kind of pinkish behind the text now. And then again, you can change the opacity, the blur, and then how far away the shadow is. If you can see it move all the way up there. Then again, I'm going to keep it off for now. And what you're going to do is you're just going to click, when you're done editing everything, you're just going to click OK. And then as you can see, it changes it right there. And then if we click play, it'll last for how long you have it dragged out. So if you don't want your title to be this long, you can shorten it a little bit by just clicking and dragging it to the left. And then it only lasts for that long. Or if you want it to last longer, you can drag it for as long as you want. But we're gonna say we want it to last about that long. So when we play it, it lasts for about 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds. So once we're done editing that, we're just gonna click OK, and that's a title. So then what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna show you guys some transitions that can happen. You can put transitions on anything really, on pictures, media, not audio. Audio doesn't really have visuals to it, so there's no reason to even attempt to do so. But as you can see, the video kind of already has its, the title has its own auto transition, technically. But what we can do is we can actually add more on top of it. As you can see, there's 178 in all, at least that's what I have. And then it kind of breaks it down into basics, 3D, ripple, orbs. There's different categories. We're going to select all for now, and then we're just going to select the first one again, bar, and then what you're going to do is just click on it to have it selected, and then you're going to click and drag down to whatever you want. So this one will have a blur on the title. So what this will do, I don't know if you guys saw that, but it kind of blurred down like this option right here. I'll drag it down to the video now and see if it'll have any. Yeah, it's much more visible. It's much more visible on the video, as you saw it kind of checkered downwards. So if you want to get a slower view of it, just click the red bar and slowly drag it to the right, and you'll see that it's kind of doing like a checkerboard downwards. And then you can also do this for the exiting of like the end part of a video as well. And since we have these two separate, the video split into two parts, I'm going to show you guys how to do that as well. So we're just going to select the next option in the transition list. You're going to drag down and click. And what you can do is, what it does is you can only put these at the beginning or ends of video snippets. So you can replace the first one, but we're going to leave that there, and what we're going to do is just drag it to the right slightly, and it'll auto-align with the end of the first video snippet. So then if we just click and drag the red bar to a little bit before the transition, and we click play. Alright. So the blind doesn't appear to want to be working, so what we're going to do is, I found one that does work. We're going to go to ripple and dissolve, and the first one should be Crazy Parametric Fun. We're just going to click and drag that down to replace it. And as you can see, this is definitely more visual of what it does. So go a little bit before the transition, click play. And it's just going to transition into the next video snippet. There can only be one transition into or out of a video. So since we have a transition leaving this video and entering it, we can't put a transition here. But if we scroll all the way to the right and put a transition on the very, very end of this, we can have one on the very end of this. So then if we just click play, it'll zoom out like that. But we can leave that there and just scroll back all the way to the left, to the back at the beginning of the video. And to get our red marker back, just click back on the time bar. And so next on is effects. As you can see, a lot of them to choose from, and pretty much you can just double click on one to edit, see what it, to preview what it does. It gives, some of them give them like color tinted glows to it. Some of them create little ripples like that. Bad TV signal is this what this one's called. You can go through and find one that you like, and what we're going to do is, I'm just going to go back to all effects, scroll down, and I will choose classic, and just click on that, click and drag down, and what it'll do, you're going to just hover it over the video and release, and what it'll do is if we click play, it replaces the style of the video with that of what we chose. So as you can see, the second part of this video clip we have unaffected. So that's what it originally looked like, and now this is what we changed it to. And what you can do, I believe you can layer them. So if we, yep, as you can see, there's some coloring added to it now. And if you just want to get rid of it, well, to delete all effects, you can right click it and delete effect, which gets rid of all the effects that you have added to it. So we're going to go back and reapply the classic. And then we will go and choose, we'll say 70s, classic 70s. So if we just kind of drag our bar to the right a little bit, that's what we have now. And then if I hit Control Z, it'll apply the previous one we have. So that's what we're stuck with now. We'll go with bright lights just to get a more visual representation of what's going on. So as you can see now, the little bars are blue there. Hit Control Z, go back. We'll go with, here we go, Jigsaw A. That's more of a visual. So now we have classic and Jigsaw A applied. So this is what it looks like. And then if we continue, this is what the original video looked like. And then lastly, there are elements that you can apply. So as you can see, they're just kind of little pictures you can drag in. So like this one is called Element Love. You can go ahead and create a new audio bar if you want, or you can just drag it onto the other one with the title that we already have. And we're going to click and drag the red bar over. Click play. And it creates a picture pretty much. You can also shorten and lengthen it as much as you want. There is a limit on these, however. So you can just shorten them pretty much. We're going to go ahead and delete that. But that's pretty much the basics of everything. So what I'm going to show you guys is how to export it next. So there's obviously an export button here. So we're just going to first, what we want to do is just go to File, Save Project As, and save that wherever you guys want. I have some previous ones selected, so we're just going to name this one I'm just going to name mine Tutorial. Click Save. So that we can save it, so that we can come back to this later and work on it. But what you're going to do is you're going to click Export. And you want to export it as whatever, you can export it as whatever you guys want, as a GIF, as just audio if you want. But since this is a video tutorial that I'm doing, we're going to do export as an MP4. And what this does, it'll just export it as a video. So what you guys want to do is just name it whatever you want. And then save it to wherever you want. And then you can change the resolution settings to it as well. I like to select best, and then frame rate. Everything will default to be fine. And then if this is clicked or not, it doesn't really matter. I like having it clicked. It just helps the video encoding go faster. And then you're just going to click export. This will take a little bit depending on the length of the video. Since this is only a 3-minute video, it should go by rather quickly. As you can see, we're already at 50%. And you can set a reminder, but this is going pretty fast. So then what you can do is you can find target of where you saved it, and it'll just open it up. And if we double click it, there you go. You have created and exported a video. You can close that. So you guys can use these tips and tricks whenever you, if you guys ever decide to get into some basic video editing. So enjoy.